All right. Ah, Dave Kramer, Kramer Unstuck. And I just feel like talking. Maybe it's because I'm drinking some pale ale, which is, I mean, there are people out there that don't like pale ale. They go, well, I don't understand how anybody could drink pale ale. Well, yeah, and maybe I said this before on a video, but I don't like lima beans, and I don't understand. And I never said I don't understand how anybody can like lima beans because when I was at home and I had to eat lima beans, which I drank a lot of water because I swallowed them all whole. There were three people at the table that ate lima beans. Any asshole who's like, I don't understand how. If you're male and you say that, you're a naive, ignorant bitch who's trying to. I don't know if you want to be sensational or whatever. I don't get that. It's like, yeah, you're right. I don't understand it either. Why would they like it? Probably because of this bitter beer that I'm drinking here. And don't get me wrong, I have drank pale ale that was just, I don't know, man. It was sweet, kind of like syrupy shit. Well, I hate the sweet crap. I love the bitter stuff that when you drink it, it's like, yeah, black coffee. Black coffee. That kind of shit. Where it just, man, it hits my tongue and it's like, I don't, I can die right now. But, I just feel like talking. I have 5 days off, Friday, and then I have Monday and Tuesday off. Uh, you know, it's just I continually think about just continuing to work at being a man. I, I want to be the toughest, strongest, meanest motherfucker on the planet. Now, is that going to happen? No, because there are a lot tougher, stronger, and meaner motherfuckers on the planet. If in order to become, like, say, the strongest, I'm going to have to become stronger than a Brian Shaw or a Hafthor Bjornsson or one of these uh, strongmen. Or there are farmers out there that we don't even know about that are probably as strong or maybe stronger than these guys. There are some that do powerlifting where they're a farmer and they do powerlifting. And I mean, you know, but I believe as a man, that's how you gotta think. You just want to be the toughest motherfucker on the planet. I mean, if you're eating right and you got your testosterone levels up, you know what I'm talking about. You know, I mean, because there's times, maybe most of the time, where you're just like in a, kind of like it's like somebody needs to be beaten right now. I don't know. It's just I smell weakness in the air, and it abhors me. Okay, but yeah, it's friggin' awesome. But yeah, I was working. Now the easy stuff was I did fuel filters. I did the oil filter. I did change the oil. I put a new uh, air filter in. I had a problem with my overflow tank for my radiator where the breather valve, that whole assembly had the seal was bad. So I pretty much I got sealant, and that thing is not coming out of there now for a while. You can get it out; you'll have to pry it out, but yeah. But then I was drinking some of this, and I decided, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to push mow. I'm going to go get the push mower and I'm going to do my push mowing. Now, I got about an hour and 15 minutes of push mowing. Maybe some of you got more. That's great, huh? And I decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to just fast walk until I hit a wall because the day before I had hit weights and I was at my job for 8 hours busting my ass and I could feel it. I was kind of run down, but I thought, you know, I, I used to watch back in the 90s. I used to watch Dragon Ball Z. Okay, and Goku, all those Saiyans, they would pretty much be beaten almost to and sometimes to death, and they come back even stronger. And I found that if you do it the smart way, if you figure out how to do it, and I can't explain it to you, you'll have to figure out yourself. Just like eating. The majority of what I eat is eggs, red meat, chicken, sausage, pork rinds, ring bologna, cheese, eggs. Did I say eggs? I don't eat much fish. Every now and then I eat fish. I used to eat a lot of tuna, but I'm not really into it. I got all that other stuff that I can eat. Pepperoni. God, I got to get pepperoni every damn week. And pepperoni, you know, sometimes pepperoni hits you the wrong way, and you got to get to the bathroom as fast as possible. But it's friggin' awesome, ain't it? Especially you mix a pepperoni in with the ground beef, and then you put cheese on top of it and melt that to where it's a little bit crispy. That, you know. But anyway, uh, so I fast walked that for, I'm gonna say 40 minutes until I finally did hit the wall, where it kind of got, I could feel the legs and everything. So I decided, okay, I'll get the rest of it either today or, uh, god darn, yeah. This this damn thing started to get dark, and it got dark outside, and now this thing got light. I don't have the perfect shit. I want to get better cameras. I have another channel, Dave's Home Gym, where I do weightlifting, and I do product reviews uh, that are weightlifting, that are pertaining to weightlifting, like you know chalk, liquid chalk, block chalk, weightlifting belt. I haven't done anything on a weightlifting belt, but my rack and benches and shit like that. Uh, but yeah, so I got that done, and then I did drink a few beer. I drank like 10 or 11, and got up the next day. Had to go to store. When I got back from store, I put in 3 hours and 15 minutes of pickaxing, shoveling, and uh, I got that job done, dug a bit of a hole so I have a bit of a pit. Then I'll have to just clean that out when I need it. I thought that's what I want to do. I don't want to have this giant mound where I have it spread out and all that stuff because that's a pain in the ass. That's not common sense. Men are logical, and we need to use that critical thinking skill to do things the right way that it makes some of the shit easier. Okay? Yeah, this sun, man, we got cloudy and but anyway. So yeah, and I was thinking about, just a lot of shit I want to do around here that I'm gonna need money. So I'm looking into and trying to work on shit to make money online. I think I said that before. That ain't easy. Right now I have Instagram up, and I wanna start a Instagram, I guess, page. And that I'm not a polished. I see a lot of these guys that are out there, telling you to get motivated and be a man. They're real polished and they look all pretty and all that. That's not me. I'm not polished. I just, you got to work hard. You got to get your mind right. You got to be stoic to a point. Uh, yeah, this darn thing is getting blurry. And wait a minute, -6? Oh, the brightness is, I don't know. But I do want to get another camera because, so I can take videos to put it on this channel. And I also want to get different angles when I'm lifting weights. I want to get angle of the front, and like if I'm doing a bench press, I want to get an angle to where it's focused on whether I lift my butt up off the bench. Now, I'm not the most powerful. When I when I was around 275, 280, I had a 530-pound deadlift, a 475-pound squat, and a 290-pound bench press and a 200-pound military press. Uh, it wasn't like I was super powerful or anything, but I got that working 10, 50 plus hours in an aluminum foundry, where at one point for a long period of time, I was what they call charging a furnace. Now, I'm in an aluminum foundry, so I was charging a furnace, and we had aluminum ingots, and they were about, I'd say, that long and about that thick. And they weighed 40 pounds apiece, and we'd have these bundles. And most of the time, now this is at 2:30. It would be after the 2:30 break. So it would be around 2:40 I would start helping to charge a furnace. And what you had to do, they had an angle bar, a bar like that. It was like an L. They had a handle on the end, and then it was a long bar because what they did was they had a stack. It was a stack furnace where you had to take the ingot, put the ingot on an angle, kind of like, okay, like this, and then they put it in, dropped it off, pulled out, you put another one on. Now, these bundles would weigh a little over 2,000 pounds. So I worked up to 230 picking pans up that could weigh anywhere from, I'm going to say, depending on how many they had in. The pan was 20 pounds. Okay. So the pan already was 20 pounds. I had pans that weighed as much as 180 pounds with a certain casting that they had in the pan. And I would pick them up on the table. Now, that pan's this big. That pan's about that wide. Okay. So, plus it might be about, I'd say, maybe that deep. So that's pretty damn heavy. Now, that job didn't come down all the time, but I'm going to say anywhere from, maybe up to 80 pounds, depending on what you're dealing with, sometimes a little over 100. But I did that from, I think it was 6 o'clock until 2:30. Okay. Now we did have lunch in there, so if you want to take a lunch, you could have half an hour, but 6 o'clock to 2:30, and then I went back and did around anywhere from 6 to 12,000 pounds of ingot. And then after we were done with that, I went back and finished a day off lifting pans up on the table, and then I would go to the YMCA in Lebanon, and I would lift weights. And even though uh, I had days that I could not do shit, especially in the summertime. I would go in there and the bar would be like, geez, and then you had these guys who didn't do anything but drive truck and they're going, we're going to work around it. How the fuck do you shut up? You got to work around it? Yeah, you got to work around it. I should have never went in, but yeah, I love hard physical labor. I don't know where I was right there. I was talking and I could just kind of, but um So anyway, with the weightlifting, I want to get to a point where I lost weight. Okay. Once I got on the carnivore diet, now of course I had the flu in 2021, and not that bullshit. I had the actual flu in 2021, and at the time when I was trying to lose weight, and 6 weeks I lost 15 pounds. So boom, the first 10's the hardest. Well, that was pretty easy, but I lost 65 pounds. I went from 280 down to 215. So you lose strength, but I'm steadily working my way up. Okay. Uh, with the squat, I'm going a little slower because I have bad shoulder. So since I'm doing with the bench press, I use a Swiss bar or a football bar. That way, it takes more of the pressure off your shoulder. With the military press, I use a straight bar, and when I squat, would squat with a straight bar, I would have to have my hands here because that's was more stable than if I had it out here. So that right there, I can feel that in my shoulder. That would I do that. I do the bench with the Olympic bar and military press, and my shoulder ended up at the point where I could barely get 85 pounds with the military press. Now the bench would lock. It would just this side would go up and this side would just stay right here. So I bought a football bar, and that so far, I lost some strength, but I'm at 200 pounds. So I'm moving up there. I have two types. I have a regular cambered bar, football bar, and then I have a cambered football bar, so I can do cambered pause bench. Uh, but and I use a trap bar for deadlifts. I have a trap bar, and I always wanted to work up on a trap bar. And after I messed my back up lifting stupid. And it wasn't like I was trying to deadlift too much weight or deadlifting, you know, I guess you could say I was deadlifting like an idiot because I had got myself into a position where I was way too tight. I had the back tight and everything like that, and I was just weird. And when I pulled up, I was out of position with the way that I was had set up, and I tweaked my back pretty damn bad that I couldn't lift anymore with a straight. So I went to a trap bar, and I had a high handle, but I had bought this was last year. I bought a it has both high and low handle, and I use the low handle predominantly, but I do use the high kind of in an overload so I can add more weight. So I get used to that. It's kind of like would be like a rack pull. I also use deficits. I put 5/8 inch mats and I stand on them. Today, what I did was I had 305 pounds and I did paused reps. I did 3 sets of three with 305 pounds off of about two and a half deficit. So yeah, I'm going to get up there because last year I had 405 on my regular trap bar, high handle, and I barely got one. I got it, but I barely got it. Now I got two, I got three. So everything's working. I want to get 500 with the low handle, which means that I should be 530 with a high handle, maybe. I don't know. But I'm working up there. Uh, but no, it's just, I was just thinking about, you know, being, being a man. And, I was watching a video, and maybe you saw the video with, I don't know what the guy's name was. He's a prankster. He was in Bradley Martin. Bradley Martin's a guy who believes that just because he's 260 pounds, he can beat up an MMA fighter. Uh, But this guy, this little prankster, and maybe I can. Well, I don't have Twitter on, so I won't be able to do that. Now, hold on a second here. I gotta get out of here. Okay. But anyway, he's in the gym where Bradley Martin works out, and he took Bradley Martin's hat off of his head and put it on his head. Just took it and put it on his head. And his friend was standing there doing a dance. Now, these are males that are never going to be men. It's like that other guy, that prankster that got shot by that guy. There again, childish, pathetic little, twit. And I remember when I was younger how I acted. I didn't act, like someone who was going to be a man. So there is, potential for them to wake up and get out of it. But nowadays, with social media, they got way too many people that are their base that are going, way to go, because I'm as immature as you twit. But none of those guys are going to go out and do hard work. They might break a nail, and I think that's pathetic. You know, my channel, Dave's Home Gym, that's what the channel name is for the weightlifting, and I've had guys complain about the fact that I'm doing outdated exercises that are deemed dangerous for the public. If you're a man, the concern. This is how I see concern. Concern isn't for me. Concern is for you. You're the one who's concerned. You're the one who's using that to make you feel good. It's like praying, okay? You want to pray to Jesus or whatever. That's you making yourself feel good. It's a comfort zone. It's like, Linus, okay? The Charlie Brown, the Peanuts cartoon. Linus had his blanket and his thumb in his mouth. It was comfortable for him. It comforted him. I'm thinking of you. What does that do for me? I'm concerned that you might hurt yourself doing those workouts. I'm whatever. I'm going to pray for you. Yeah, that doesn't matter. That's you making yourself feel better, hoping, okay? You're probably like my mom, you know? I'm praying for you. Well, when I lived at home, I had like 11 or 12 accidents. I demolished my grandpa's truck when I had my learner's permit, and then I demolished the first car I had because me and a guy were, playing catch up and pass and whatever you call that. And I decided to pass around a blind turn, and well, I'm here. I didn't think I was going to be here. I just sat back in the seat and said, "Well, Kramer, you bought the farm," because all I saw were these headlights in my eyes. But I didn't. And I had numerous fender benders just driving like an idiot. Uh, and I demolished the last vehicle I demolished was in 2010. That was a DUI. So, and no one was involved but me. So, but concern, it doesn't matter. Unless you're willing to go along with me, hold my hand, shield me, your concern don't mean shit to me. That's just how it is. So these guys who I don't consider to be men, whining about shit like that. And I think a lot of it could be that I don't like doing these exercises because they scare me. So I don't want you doing them so I can feel better about me not wanting to do them. I got no respect for that either. That is just pathetic. But What are you going to do, huh? I don't even answer them. Constructive criticism, I don't have a problem with that. If I'm like, I'm having a problem with this lift, I'm going to try this, maybe I'm going to try that, and then someone says, well, why don't you try this? I'm going to try it. I'm going to see if that works. But if you come on my channel and you go, I think you ought to do this, that, the other thing, and I like you're my boss or my mom or my dad or whatever, and I go over to your channel and I don't see any videos where I can get an idea. Yeah, and you've been with YouTube for 10 years. Shut up. Just shut up. Go type somewhere else. I don't know. So, yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say. I hope you got the gist of it. Like these guys who are, all pedantic and everything. I talked about that before. Grammar, your punctuation wasn't right. You didn't spell things right. And then I saw some of these guys were almost like the minute the guy responded, like he has a lot of followers on Twitter or whatever you want to call it, X. And it's almost like these guys comment, and then when he responds to them, they're like, "Oh boy, he's talking to me." Wow. I mean, just thinking about, I'm like, I don't need that prick to talk to me. I mean, I might like a guy, might like his content, think he's all right. I don't need him to talk to me. I don't need to comment. If I comment and he comments back, I'll decide, okay, is this a comment I need to respond to, or is it just a comment I need to go, all right, he commented back, good, whatever. But some of these guys are just, I mean, I saw a video of a guy who's on YouTube, or I think it was YouTube, or maybe it was Twitter, where he was whining about how much love he has to give and nobody respects it. No, no, that's not what you do. Okay, and we all have high points, we all have low points, and we all get depressed. I grew up most of my life with that attitude. Okay, woe is me, I'm a victim. Boo hoo. Okay, a lot of depression, anxiety, because of mental and emotional abuse. That was mostly, parents. And in school, I had that. In school, I had bullies picking on me, but I fought back. Okay. I always had some fight in me, though sometimes I could be just an abject friggin' coward. And that, I think about that and I go, I remember when I was like that. Never again, you know. But, you know, uh, but yeah, we all have those high points and low points, and you just suck it up and deal with it. I mean, if you need to get into a relationship, okay, which right there, if you need to get into a relationship, I think you got a problem. I don't need to get into a relationship. I don't want a relationship where I'm going to be around somebody more than I want to be around. Okay, I see you a couple months from now. That's good. Okay. It's like, yeah, you know. I mean, I remember when I had a girlfriend and we were on the phone because she we had to call each other. And I'm on the phone for 2 friggin' hours. Are you friggin' kidding me? You know, just sitting here going, I mean, are you kidding me? Is this life? Is this living? When that relationship was over, that was it. That was in 2003. And I still am like, no, I like one of the aspects of that relationship, but I don't want all the other shit. So I guess when I have time, I got to find a woman like that, though you got to watch what you get there. But I don't know what that was. Maybe that was someone shooting. Live back in the country, you'll have that, I mean, but uh but yeah, um i- if you want a relationship, I think as a man you need to get to a point where you can control yourself, where you have a stoic attitude, where you don't allow those feelings and emotions, which they're there. You're going to have to deal with them. And if you deal with them in a, yeah, screw you. Okay, all the work I do, weightlifting and all that, and I got everything here. I got to do it all. And you get tired, you get beat up, and I get depressed. Okay? I just deal with it. I know why I'm depressed. I'm not depressed because life sucks. Yes, there are things in life that suck, but it ain't the entire fucking life that sucks. So you just deal with it. And if you're out there going needy, if you are needy, wow, I don't know. You're not going to have any success if you want to get with a woman. So get over it. Grow a pair of balls. Watch, read about the Vikings. Just develop a Viking mindset of you know, they have a saying. Okay, a brave man will fall in battle, but a coward will run forever. And if you're a needy person, you're kind of a coward. You're weak. I need comfort. I need someone to hold me. Okay? And I consider as a man that's weak. Okay. Now some of you might disagree because you just like having that comfort. No. I never my dad said couple years ago, my dad said, you never liked being hugged even when you were a kid. And hey, if I'm at a funeral and you need a hug, I'll give you a hug. Okay, you lost somebody, you're grieving, and there is an element to that comfort where somebody gives a damn. Okay, not going to bring the person back. It's not going to stop your sorrow, but it will help you to see that yes, I got somebody that has given me some support here. Now, if you're male and you want to be all huggy with someone, and it's like, oh my God, it's like, I really, I to me, that's like, yeah, okay. It's like, okay, that's, yeah, okay, okay, I hug you. It's like, wow, okay. But then, of course, like I said about concern and all that, I've never been someone who really, when I was younger, holy shit. This friggin' oh, okay. Well, now it came back. Yeah, this day has been a overcast in the morning. Now it's getting so friggin' bright that it's like someone put a nuclear bomb off outside. But anyway, let's see. 33.54, almost 34 minutes. Okay. I talked pretty long, but I hope you got the gist of it. This I want to be someone who I don't want to call myself a coach or an influencer. Maybe that's what I am. That to me, I don't know. I guess I do want to influence males to stop this uh bitchy ass pink bullshit that they're you know going through and just allowing themselves to be controlled by. Uh so yeah, I do want to influence you that way. Uh, and I'm not advocating for being a hard, soulless, cold husk of a human being where I got no feeling or anything. No, not that. We all got feelings. Okay. I like being happy. Okay. Sometimes, depending on how beat up I am. I just beat myself up even more because I used to do that when I was younger a lot. And I did that most of my life. And I kind of have an addiction to that pain, where it's just when you're depressed. And here's the thing about that. And some of you are going to agree with me, you're depressed and you just decide, okay, I'm going to run myself down and run myself down and run myself down and just keep running myself down. And boom. Okay. And I'm not saying everybody can do this. So don't say, oh, well, he told me to do that. And then the next thing you know, you're, you know, suicided. Don't do that. Okay. But for some of us, you can do that to a point where it's like, you're 1 second, you're like, I'm a piece of shit. The next second, it's like, I'm God Almighty. I created all of this. This is my domain. I am the ruler of it. It's amazing how that works. It's like I'm thinking, well, just a second ago, I was the worst piece of crap on the planet. I was lower than whale shit. Now the mountaintop is below me. All right, boom, I made it. But like I said, you know, if you want to try it, take it slow, okay? But anyway, I know YouTube might go, is he advocating? No, I'm not YouTube, and you know it. Because I told him don't try it. That works for some of us. Some of us just we got a deep, deep, deep hole. It's a bottomless pit, you know. And I think what happens is we get down so low and then we start bouncing off the sides and somehow bounce up to the top. So, that works for us. So that's all I got right now. I'm going on 40 minutes. That was a blah blah blah. But hey, hey, in vino veritas. Huh? So that's all I got. And until next time, I'm Dave Kramer. This is Kramer Unstuck.